Have you ever stopped to ponder the true nature of the Harry Potter series? You know, those books filled with magic, witchcraft, and fantastical beasts that have captivated the hearts of millions. The joyous adventures of Harry, Hermione, and Ron casting spells, battling dark forces. Sounds innocent enough, right? But let's pause and delve a little deeper. What if there's more to this world of wizardry than meets the eye? What if I told you that the world of wizardry isn't as innocent as it seems? Let's delve into the world of Harry Potter, a world filled with magic and spells. Now, this isn't your average bedtime story. It's a tale that captivates the imagination with its charm and mystique. But at its core, it's a world where the impossible is possible and where enchantments and incantations are as commonplace as the air we breathe. Now let's pause for a moment and think about this. In the Harry Potter universe, magic is the key that unlocks doors, the tool that solves problems, and the weapon that conquers evil. But isn't it curious how this mirrors the real world, where we often look for quick solutions, easy answers, and immediate gratification? Yet from a Christian perspective, we're taught that real power comes from faith, prayer, and God's grace, not from a wand or a spell. So it begs the question, are these magical elements in Harry Potter a harmless fantasy? Or do they subtly promote a worldview that is contrary to Christian beliefs? The Bible warns us about the dangers of the supernatural, the occult, and witchcraft. It tells us that these practices are not of God, but of the devil. So, when we immerse ourselves in a world that celebrates these things, are we inadvertently dancing with the devil? Are we being deceived by a wolf in sheep's clothing? The answer may not be as clear as we'd like, but it's a question that's worth pondering. After all, even the most charming of stories can have a dark underbelly. Now, let's examine some concrete evidence from the series itself. Consider the constant presence of dark magic throughout the series. Dark magic is portrayed as a source of power, something to be desired and sought after. Characters who engage in this form of magic are often depicted as strong and influential, albeit with a few moral flaws. This glorification of dark magic subtly implants the idea that power and influence can be gained through morally questionable means. Let's shift our focus to the portrayal of death in the series. The theme of death is prevalent throughout the 7 books, with several major characters meeting their end. While death is a natural part of life, the Harry Potter series presents it in a manner that feels, for lack of a better term, unnatural. Characters are resurrected, ghosts roam the halls of Hogwarts, and the concept of an afterlife is ambiguous at best. This nonchalant attitude towards death and the afterlife is a stark contrast to the sanctity of life and the certainty of heaven and hell as presented in the Bible. Furthermore, the series presents the idea of gaining power through magical means. Characters are often seen casting spells to manipulate their environment, control others, and even cheat death. This concept is in direct opposition to the biblical teaching that power and authority come from God alone. Another point to consider is the series' portrayal of rebellion. Harry and his friends frequently break rules, disobey authority figures, and even lie to achieve their goals. While these actions are usually justified as necessary for the greater good, they subtly encourage the idea that the ends justify the means. This goes against the biblical teaching that we should obey our leaders and live a life of honesty and integrity. Finally, consider the series' emphasis on self-reliance. Characters are often praised for their cunning, bravery, and independence. While these traits are not inherently bad, they are often celebrated at the expense of seeking help and guidance from others, particularly from God. This promotes a self-centric worldview, contrary to the Christian belief in the importance of relying on God and seeking His guidance. This evidence from the Harry Potter series is not insignificant. The constant presence of dark magic, the casual attitude towards death and the afterlife, the idea of gaining power through magical means, the glorification of rebellion, and the emphasis on self-reliance, these are not mere coincidences. They are deliberate elements woven into the fabric of the series, subtly promoting values and beliefs that are in stark contrast to Christian teachings. These instances are not mere coincidences, but deliberate elements that promote a satanic agenda. What does the Holy Bible say about such practices? Well, let's take a look. The Bible, our guiding light, has a lot to say about witchcraft and magic, and none of it is positive. In the book of Leviticus, chapter 19, verse 31, it states, "Do not turn to mediums or seek out spiritists, for you will be defiled by them." This message is clear and unambiguous. The Bible is advising us to steer clear of any form of witchcraft or magic. In another instance, the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 18, verses 10 to 12, goes a step further by saying, "Let no one be found among you who practices divination or sorcery, interprets omens, engages in witchcraft, or casts spells." Here, the Bible is not just advising us, it's commanding us. It's giving us a direct order to stay away from such practices. Now let's consider the Harry Potter series. The very basis of the series revolves around a school of witchcraft and wizardry. The main characters, who are portrayed as heroes, constantly engage in casting spells, interpreting omens, and practicing magic. This is in direct contradiction to the teachings of the Bible. The Bible also warns us about being deceived by the appearance of evil. In the book of Corinthians, chapter 11, verse 14, it says, "And no wonder, for Satan himself masquerades as an angel of light." The Harry Potter series, with its magical charm and captivating storytelling, can indeed be considered as a wolf in sheep's clothing. Now, it's important to remember that the Bible isn't just a book of rules. It's a guide to living a life pleasing to God, a life that rejects evil and embraces goodness. The Bible's stance on witchcraft and magic is clear. It's a path we are urged not to tread. The Bible's clear on this matter, and the Harry Potter series stands in stark contrast to these teachings. Now, equipped with this knowledge, what should we as Christians do? The answer, my friends, is not to retreat, but to remain vigilant and discerning. In a world where entertainment is often laced with subtle messages and hidden agendas, we must be watchful guardians of our hearts and minds. Just as we nourish our bodies with wholesome food, we must also nourish our spirits with wholesome content. The Bible reminds us in Philippians 4 verse 8 to fill our minds with whatever is true, noble, right, pure, lovely, and admirable. So let us be mindful and choose to engage with content that aligns with these principles. But friends, vigilance is not just about guarding ourselves. It is also about protecting those around us. If we see a wolf in sheep's clothing, it is our duty to warn the flock, not to stand by in silence. Therefore, I encourage each of you to share this video, to spread awareness about the hidden implications of the Harry Potter series. Remember, the aim here is not to condemn or vilify, but to enlighten and educate. We are not calling for a boycott, but for discernment. Let us approach the subject not with fear, but with wisdom and understanding. And as we do this, let us also remember to do it in love, for love is the greatest commandment, and it should be the guiding principle in all our actions. Let us not judge, but educate. Let us not alienate, but invite others into a conversation. Let us not condemn, but share the truth in love. So let's take a stand not against people, but against the subtle deceptions that seek to lead us astray. Let's be the light in a world that so desperately needs it. Remember, as Christians, we are called to be the light in this world. Share this video, enlighten others, and let's stand firm in our faith. Thank you all so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please drop a comment below and share it. Don't forget to subscribe by hitting the subscribe button and hitting the bell for updates to new content. Have a blessed day, y'all.